Howdy guys, how's it going? So today we're going to be looking at a summer day hiking, loadout day hiking kit. Now the idea behind this particular loadout is not if you're just going for a quick 30-45 minute walk down a paved trail and then coming right back. This is something if you're going out looking to explore some new trails and you're genuinely looking to be out for the whole day. And then it's set up so in the event you got caught out due to weather, injury, getting turned around, getting lost, you'd be more than covered, and I think you'd actually be pretty comfortable. Now, as always with kits loadouts, it will vary widely depending on where you're from, your particular environment that you're going to be operating in, and your experience level. So with all of that said, let's jump right into it. For starters, this pack right here, this is a Tasmanian Tiger 28 liter. I believe it's the TAC pack model, but it's got a lot of modularity to it. I've had this one now for, I want to say, somewhere between probably 6-8 months. Used it a good deal, and it is going strong. Absolutely no complaints with it thus far. Hey, rolling it over just to look at the back side. So yeah, it has a very, very nicely padded shoulder straps on it. It's got this kind of center vent line. But during the summertime for packs like this, I do highly recommend these Vaucluse pack frames. I took this one off of another pack. This is the very first generation, but the second generation one of these is what I would actually throw on here. It's pretty much the same dimensions, but just improved quality and materials. Right now I have it on my Hidden Woodsman Model 23 pack. But this just allows a ton more ventilation to come through at your back, keeps you from getting as sweaty, as hot, and just adds a little bit more rigidity. Not that this pack really has any issue with that, but in the event you're using a different type of pack, these can really help improve the overall comfort. And then the only other thing to mention that I have right here on the chest strap, sternum strap, is this is a Tough Possum Gear compass pouch. Now you can put this anywhere that you want. You can wear it around your neck. I just have it right here because it's a nice, quick, easy on-off. If you do wear it across your chest, it's easy to open this up and access it. But yeah, with the loops here on the back, you have a lot of options. There's MOLLE all over this pack, so plenty of places where you could utilize the MOLLE attachment points. This here is a Sun 2 Global Compass. Love this thing. Now, this probably won't be that important if you're following some well-established trails, but if you're, like I said, exploring new areas and looking at remote trails, things like that, even if you have a GPS and stuff, it's always good to stick with old reliable, having an actual compass and map of the area that you're in. And then we'll talk about the hydration bladder and stuff that I have in this in a second. Obviously, you can see it's a Hydro Pack. But for the strap, instead of running it through any of these MOLLE slots right here, I've actually got a glow-in-the-dark modal, M-O-D-L, strap right here. These are just really handy to have. Having it on the outside during the day, it gets charged up by UV light. It's a little bit easier to slide and adjust the hose like where it sits, and because of that rubberized texture of the strap, the hose kind of stays where it's at with this insulated tubing. But that is everything that I currently carry. Sometimes I'll take and clip my sunglasses case through some of this webbing, just small things like that. But that'll vary depending on what you carry with you and what you tend to wear. And then speaking of what you wear, we ain't going to really talk about clothing much, but I do like to wear these One Saber hats whenever I'm out this time of year because they're light, they're very breathable, but most importantly, if you're in a new area, you can flip this around and you've got this blaze orange top that you can wear on your noggin. This is also good if you're going to be in an area some time of year where hunting's going on. And the last thing on the outside that's dangling around is one of these adventure lights. You guys have seen these in my kits a lot. You turn that, you got a nice blinking light. You can flip the battery around and it'll stay on constantly. And these things have an insanely long run time. Like this company makes the flashing lights and stuff that goes on emergency life rafts and things like that on like large, like large ships, emergency life rafts. So they're really high quality, work really good. Great way to mark your pack in low light conditions. If you're walking away to go to a water source. need to mark anything important, or just, you know, for signaling purposes. If you could set that up throughout the night, if people was looking for you, even if you fell asleep, you've got something that would kind of be showing your location. Okay, now undoing this on the outside, because I opted to not throw on a chair because I wanted this pack to be, because I wanted this loadout to be as, you know, as light as possible within reason, not going for like an ultralight setup. But yeah, this is a Tough Possum Gear sit pad. The other nice thing about this, blaze orange backside. So just as we had it on the outside of our pack with the multicam out, we could flip this around, strap it on there between the hat that we're wearing and this, a very large visible panel from the back, and we'd be visible from above. So if you needed to get located, you got that. Plus, again, a good way just to mark something important. You can take and wrap this around a tree at camp, walk away from camp, and then be able to come back and find out where you set up at. Okay, now organization with this, this is still kind of just thrown together. So I mean, you could probably play around with placement of items a wee bit better. Yeah, here on the outside, this right here is just a Star Kiss buffalo style chicken. In hot weather, I don't eat as much as I'm going, especially if I am really like hot and sweaty at the moment. I just kind of lose my appetite, and we'll touch some more on food in a second. But something like this on the outside, quick and easy, along the edge here somewhere. I know I've got my fork and spoon, so look that second. But a nice cool chicken packet. I got my headlamp in the front pouch. I've got a lot of other lighter headlight options, but I don't like to play around with smaller headlamps whenever we're talking about a kit that can be used in a situation like this. I prefer to have a very robust, waterproof, and long battery life headlamp with me. This one also has red lens and green lens capabilities, so you can, there's a red, there's a green, and these Coast headlamps, pouring rain, you drop in water, you just really don't have to worry about them. Okay, going in, if you have to go number 2, this right here is a zero titanium trowel, so really lightweight storage bag, keeps the dirt from getting all up in your pack. And then some of these Clean Freak biodegradable and flushable wipes. This is not a complete 20 wipe pack. There's probably 15 in here, which is overkill. You could lighten the load a bit, but it's just easier for me to keep them in this packaging. Okay, then underneath the lip there, these are 2 Clean Freak body wipes. You know, if you had to stay overnight or after you just get done hiking, it's really nice to wipe yourself down, just to get, you know, feel a little bit fresher if you're covered in sweat and dirt and everything from a full day's worth of hiking. Oh, and then finally in the edge, this is a County Com fork spoon combo. That is everything in the front. And now one thing that I really like about this pack is you can fully open it up, and that makes things a lot easier for this type of video. So we'll just zip it all the way down and around, fold or flap over. Or actually, before we do that, we'll talk about the things that are in these front organization pockets. Once again, I just threw a couple small things in here. If you're somebody that's really into organization layout, then you could utilize these and make it a lot more proper looking. Just have an extra 10 aqua tabs here, so that's 10 liters of water that you can purify right here. Got one of the Titan Survival extra large emergency blankets, and then I just left this in here by mistake, but not a bad thing to have as a redundancy. This is a Outdoor Element ferro rod whistle and waterproof fire tender combo. Obviously, it don't have a piece of fire tender in it. For this kit, there's not a fire kit in the pack, because as part of my EDC that I carry on my person, I have my fire kit on me. This is a Better Bushcraft pouch and Greek Lizard in this. I just stuck those MRE matches in there. But I've got a ferro rod, collapsible bellow, and about, I think, 10 of these waterproof fire tabs. So with that, that's 10 guaranteed fires no matter what. And then we have this backup ferro rod. Now with this open, the first thing you'll probably notice is this silicone bag here. If I'm going on a day hike in this fashion, and I planned on eating once I got to the end of where I was at, depending on the type of food, one of my go-tos is just mixing up a big thing of tuna, mayonnaise, black pepper, and eating it that way just by itself, or bringing along a couple pieces of bread, probably 2 cans of tuna. These durable silicone bags, I've used these a lot. They're really, really durable. I've not had any issue with leaking. Like this past winter, quite a few times I took out a big bag of deer stew that I made at home with me in one of these, and dropping packs, everything, as long as you have it placed properly in your pack, you don't really have to worry about any leakage issues. So highly recommend these durable silicone bags. As always, guys, I will link to everything that I've used in this video down in the video description, as long as it is still available and listed on the internet somewhere. Now, even though you can have full access to this pack by being able to zip it down all the way there, at the very top, in case I didn't want to have to zip it in this fashion, this right here is our shelter kit and rain gear, and this is in a military sustainment pouch. So the nice thing about this is, if everything in here got wet due to rain or whatever reason, I could take and attach this to the MOLLE on the outside and keep this separate from everything that is in the pack. This also gives me the ability to expand my storage capabilities, because that just opens up a lot of room. So we will unbuckle that. And now at the very top, and there was a better way I could have stored this in here, but I just rolled up my rain jacket. At the moment, this has been my favorite rain jacket for the past year. I'm probably going to do a dedicated review video on the set of this jacket and pants. But this is a Pentagon Hurricane jacket. This one I got off militaryfirst.com. It is essentially like a European Gore-Tex. It's a 3-layer laminate material. Very, very breathable. But this time of year, I always use the large pit zips. If you're going to get any rain jacket, always make sure they have pit zips for the ventilation. But yeah, this thing is just super durable. Very robust for rainwear. I don't have the pants in here, and I did not for a poncho, because I do have a component in the pack that would allow me to waterproof everything that is in it. But yeah, lots of nice pockets to where you could start like carrying your gear on your person with some of your smaller items. And this would also be what I would have for an additional warming layer in this kit, because this time of year at night here in the areas that I go, the actual air feel and temp is only getting down at the lowest into like 66 degrees. You know, and that's like with humidity and everything, with the real air feel normally in like 78 to 80 degrees. So you don't really need anything like a fleece. But if I was going to add a fleece, over here I've got, this is a Sky Goat micro fleece. Thing is insanely warm. I mean, you combine that fleece with a jacket like this, just sitting stationary, and I mean, I'm good down to 50 degrees, truthfully. So this rain jacket serves a lot of purposes, and it gives you the ability to keep hiking and keep moving and continue to do bushwhacking, unlike you would be able to do if you had a poncho on. So okay, and then getting into the sheltering aspects of this kit. These got tangled up when I was packing them. I got 3 of these rope rollers from Roller Cam. Each one of these has 25 feet of cordage on it, because I would either be going with a plow point setup or a lean-to style setup with this to, you know, just get out of the rain or to hunker down for the night. I've got my Silver Ant titanium tent stakes. There's 6 of those in there. Okay, I didn't realize it, but we've actually got 4 of these roller cam things, so I put an extra one in there so you could suspend this overhead. And then the tarp that I went with, this is an ultralight tarp from 6 AM Outdoors. Love their stuff. Been using them for, I think, just over a year now. I mean, just really, really high quality, durable, ultralight tarps and shelters. And this is one of the smaller ones that they make, but it's still larger than most tarps you bring. Definitely larger than a poncho. And this is something nice to have with you too, that if you just need to hunker down and get out of the weather for a bit, having this with a bit of surface area so you're not all like scrunched up in underneath the poncho shelter. Okay, now here's something that's not very necessary but really nice to have. This is a Campcraft Outdoor wax canvas ground mat. So you combine this with our Tough Possum Gear sit pad. This is our cushion. And then we can lay our stuff out whenever we're prepping our food. Just a nice waterproof barrier between the ground and whatever you decide to sit on it, whatever you're working on. And truthfully, I didn't even think about this when I packed it. But if you have your rain jacket on and you don't feel like putting the gear into the dry bag, I'll show you here in a minute. You could actually take this and tuck it, like drape it over your pack and tuck it down in behind your back. In your rain jacket, and this would make a really good pack cover. And I mean, with this just being a 28-liter pack, this thing engulfs the pack completely. So actually a decently good waterproofing option for continuing to hike with your pack on. Now over here in the corner, this is meant to be more of an emergency food option. Like you're just waking up the next day, you want to fuel up so that you didn't have to try to make your way back on an empty stomach. So this is a Keto brick. I just have recently found these, but this bad boy is 1,000 calories in this small, lightweight package. I've only tried one of these so far flavor-wise, and I mean, it's just, if you have any experience eating protein bars or like weightlifting supplements, then it tastes like that type of stuff. So it's not a gourmet meal option, but these do not taste bad at all. I've definitely tasted a lot worse. Okay, so midway through, these actually belong at the very bottom, but this right here is a shirt and an extra change of socks. Really nice for if in this scenario you had to stay overnight. Being able to change out into a fresh shirt and fresh socks would be a big morale booster. It's always a good idea to have an extra pair of socks if your feet get too sweaty. That's another one of those things where you need to kind of know your body, know your gear, and kind of how you tend to wear through things. I've never had an issue with athlete's foot or anything like that, even if my feet are soaking wet. I don't have to worry about that part of it as much, but it does feel nice to put on a new pair of socks after you've been walking all day. And also too, just when you get back to your car or your vehicle, being able to change into a nice fresh clean shirt. Okay, and then one thing that takes up a decent amount of space but doesn't add a lot of weight is I carry my Vulcan Canteen mess kit set with me. I've not prepping any food. I do just like having a metal container with me. This is an extra liter. The bladder in here is 3 liters. So I have the ability to carry up to a gallon of water, but I would be carrying this empty. And you could just opt for like any other plastic bottle. The main purpose this thing serves is having a vessel to mix up my electrolyte drink mixes, and also just a secondary way to purify water. And in the front here, I've got some banana bag electrolyte mixes, and then there's more in this pack as well. Like this time of year, if you've been a sub for a while, I keep an unnecessary amount of these things on me. But yeah, in the front here, this is a 1 liter Hydro Pack bag or bladder. Well, actually, it's more of a bag and bottle. And then over here in this pouch, this is the Hydro Pack water filter. So Canteen's 1 liter, this bag's 1 liter. It's, whenever I'm hiking with just this, fill up this bag, put this filter on there, squirt it through. But more importantly, the bladder that is in this pack setup is capable where I can snap this in place, connect the hose to one end, and then fill up the full 3 liter capacity of the bladder and filter the water as I drink. So if I had a way to just collect the full 3 liters really quickly and easily, then I could do this, have it in line, and filter the water as I hike and walk, and not have to really fool with anything else. Okay, now right here, this is a Tough Possum Gear pouch. I done a belt kit video on this not too long ago. In here, got a spare lighter, another 4 packs of our banana bag electrolyte drink mixes, a nice decent sized roll of white Gorilla Tape. There's 2 packets of these Wild Fit energy powder shots. Got some Afterbite natural itch relieving cream for bug bites. Got a Titan Survival whistle. You could also take and just go ahead and clip this onto one of your shoulder straps if you wanted to. But it's very, very loud. Got a nose slap, smelling salts in there. Just a nice pick-me-up if you feel like you're starting to lose focus. Got a field notes pad, pen. The Sharp Owl knife sharpener, not necessary for the day hike, but it was just in this kit, so I just left it. And then this Lever Gear waterproof container, which has ibuprofen and Benadryl in it. And that is everything that is in this little zip pouch. But on the outside of the zip pouch, I have this Sun Company thermometer, button compass, carabiner deal. It's just really nice to be able to reference what the air temp is. That way you can better adjust your pace and make sure that you're taking in enough water for what your body needs. Now, I always carry my main trauma bleeding stuff on my person in my cargo pockets. So if there was any major bleeding, I've got all of that covered. You can go check out one of my other EDC kit videos if you're curious about that. But this is a MyMedic Hiker Medic, and right here is everything that is in this. I have opened up one of these on video before. This one has not been opened, and I'm going to leave it that way. But lots of goodies in here. There's extra Benadryl, like sting relief. You know, there's electrolyte stuff, lip balm, burn gel. You know, just things like that. Pretty nifty little kit. Okay, and now this right here is what I was talking about for waterproofing the contents of the pack. This pack does kind of shed and bead water decently well, but I mean after 30 minutes of a light shower, it's going to start soaking through. Or if you just begin with a heavy shower, you got about 10 to 20 minutes before things are going to start getting wet. But this is a 40-liter Snug Pack dry bag with an air valve at the bottom, so you can get all the air out of it. But yeah, this is only a 28-liter pack, but I could just quickly take and fill this, take everything out from the main compartment here, put it in this bag, roll it down, get the air out, stuff it down in there, and then essentially everything in this pack is at that point waterproof. And then the only thing you'll have to contend with is the pack itself will get, you know, slightly heavier as it gets wetter, but that's not that big of a deal. Another great thing about this that is kind of the overlooked purpose of this dry bag is, since we do have a bivvy in here, and we'll talk about the bivvy in a second, at the foot end, you can take and fill this with air and then stuff it at the foot end, and that will help keep the shape of the bivvy itself, so that if you have any water pooling up on it, it won't go through. Because even with Gore-Tex or any waterproof material that is also breathable, if water sits on it, eventually it will start to kind of seep through. So you got to have a way for the bivvy bag to keep its shape. You being inside of it does serve that purpose mostly, but bivvy bags, or a good bivvy bag, is typically oversized a bit. So you're going to need a way to round out the lower areas and just make sure that it functions the way that you want it to. Okay, now the final thing in the body, aside from our water bladder there in the back, this is a USMC Gore-Tex bivvy, or the improved bivvy. And now we're covered overhead with our tarp and everything, but the main purpose this bad boy serves is keeping insects off of you, because if you can, you need to try to get as much good restful sleep as possible, and that's hard to do when you've got ants and stuff crawling in your ear and nose holes in the middle of the night. So this will give you the peace of mind of being able to keep insects and stuff off of you, but also it has this here for breathability, but you can zip it all the way up so it's fully waterproof. And that did remind me to mention one thing you're going to definitely want to have in your pack if you don't carry it on your person, which I carry mine on my person this time of year, like 24/7, because you'll just lose your mind if you don't have something like this and you're always outdoors. This is a head bug net that you can throw over your head. This one in particular is a quick camo. Been using this thing a lot, and this thing is still holding up great. But tons of these, tons of companies out there that make these. This is just one of the smallest ones that I've come across. These are really cheap. and 100 times worth their weight in gold whenever you're getting molested by insects. So yeah, this is our Gore-Tex Bivy. It is, yeah, not had any issues with this. The only things that I see of people putting these things down about saying like water getting inside, it's normally always because they've let water pool up on it and set for, you know, hours, if not a day plus. And at that point, you know, any breathable waterproof material is going to get water through. Okay, now the final thing to talk about is the water bladder, and also you can see behind here, this is the sleeve where the bladder slides down into, but you've got all of this Velcro here and molly webbing, so that's what makes this pack the modular TAC pack. But I've got a Hydro Pack 3 liter. I think the name of this line is the Force series. So yeah, this is their most durable line of water bladders, really kind of aimed at hunters and adventurers, just hardcore backpackers, things of that nature. But what's really nice about these that set these apart to me is the Ziploc style top here, because you can open this thing up and now you've got this wide mouth at the top to fill, so it's really easy to scoop up from streams, rivers, ponds if you're using the inline filter. And then you just put this back on there like that, and it's completely sealed up and waterproof. With this being the 4 series, it does have this coated insulated hose, which is a must during winter so your hose doesn't freeze up, but also it protects it from anything sharp or abrasive and rubbing, so you don't have to worry about as much about your hose getting punctured. And in the heat of summer, if the sun's shining on you, this does help keep the liquid in the tube cooler for longer. I know they make a 2 liter version, but I knew that when I'd be using this, anytime I'm using a bladder, I kind of want to be able to carry as much water as possible within reason. And I feel like 3 liters is a really good volume. Oh yeah, and because now I can show you, this pack has this, it's like a rigid plastic type material in the back to give the back shape. This pack does have a good rigid feel to it, so that combined with having one of those Vaucluse ventilation pack frames, it really pairs well, because this gives your water bladder something to set against, and you don't have to worry about the components on the inside of the pack interfering with it as much as if it was just a completely soft-sided or soft backpack. So yeah guys, that is everything that is in this particular pack loadout for a summertime day hike. There's a lot of little things you could tweak and change to kind of extend this into early fall or late spring. And just, I mean, the gear here is pretty solid regardless. Like you could even kind of adjust this for like a winter, like a cold weather scenario, because you have so many attachment points with this pack, as well as being able to put stuff up on the bottom. If you've been around, you've seen me use this for overnighters, even in the winter, and be extremely comfortable. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment sections. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you've not already. Share the channel with your friends, family, anybody enjoys good old outdoor activities and gear. Make sure to check the links in the description if you're interested in the gear, because the links will take you right to this stuff. And you guys, until the next one, adios.